right, guys, welcome back. You are still tuned in to Funtastic Fridays. We are here with you every single Friday from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. I know from your ear the song that you know what time it is. It is time for Talk the Ting with Kim. Right? So for this week, it's now a new month. It is, arguably the best month, November. But as much as, my month, I want to represent the man them in other topic here, right? Tanique said, have to go, guys. All right, that's fine, Tanique. We appreciate it. We love that you had fun with us. Thank you. And looking forward to having you again next week with us, all right? She said, see you next week. Big up yourself.
Bye.
And Sweet Dratis, welcome. Big up yourself.
Sweet what?
Sweet Dratis.
Oh my god.
So I know, artistic skills are bad.
Don't do it.
All right.
Don't do it.
But yeah, guys, so it's time for our discussion segment. And in this discussion, we're going to be talking about the importance of male empowerment. And why I wanted to do this topic is because of a news article I saw today. And it was saying that there was a soldier that committed suicide, right? And his brother, KOP said present. So yeah, his brother said he was showing signs of depression, like realized he's not the same, him just depressed, him look sad, whatever, since August, because his breakup happened in August. But you want to say, man, we don't really talk about him something there. And then his brother committed suicide, I think either yesterday or today, and now he has deep regret. So that instantly made me think about, the fact that men don't have that outlet, and I think they're taught not to have that outlet. For some reason, we have created this as our norm in society, so I wanted to have a discussion about it, all right? So this is where the male empowerment idea coming from. So let's get into it. For decades now, we have been supporting and encouraging women's empowerment. We applaud the efforts of everyone who has made an impact and continues to make an impact on women's empowerment. But in the midst of the major strides women have been making, it can be said that we have forgotten to empower our men as well. Right? So I want you guys to envision, because let's say a teacher and a class, I have this smart student, so the teacher not really pay the student in the mind, because you say, yeah, you're good, you're strong, you know your thing every time exam come, yeah. Right? And they give extra attention to the students who either very distracted or them not as quick. And the same thing even with parents and the children. Certain siblings get extra attention because you just give your problems. I can't say life might go rough for you, but they have a one child that seem very level-headed, but then that don't mean them don't need attention. And that's the same thing we've done with men, because over the years men has been seen as strong, and boy, they're providers, and they're so much expectations of them. So we sort of neglect them and say, boy, women did need the help, so we didn't need to focus on women. But then in the midst of this, we sort of leave them behind, right? So this is exactly what we have done with the men in our society. One of the biggest issues being faced by men is that from a very tender age, they are taught that emotions are not manly, and God forbid they cry. In our Jamaican society, a crying boy is often greeted with the statement of, "Where you ball for? Yeah, girl?" When I agree with that?
Yeah, and they have the sissy and them stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So if it is that them feeling no type of pain, whether physical or whatever, it's like, where you ball for? And that, I think, is like probably the source, probably a part of the beginning of the problem.
As part of one of the early seeds.
Yeah, like... What you have to say, Xavier? It look like you're about to share your perspective.
I agree with everything that has been said thus far. It's more so, hey, bottle it up and just keep it in. Don't show any emotions.
Yeah.
You're a soldier, you're a male, so you gotta always keep that macho, manly persona going forward. So yeah.
And we do that to very young boys. It starts from baby stage. So literally, you drop and turn over your ball and your parents say, "Where you ball for?" And you're a baby. You're a baby, exactly.
Let him go and became a get up himself.
Exactly, and up here in the mind. So that is a part of the issue we are facing.
Just look at masking tape.
Where the masking tape come from. But yeah, I love that you guys get what I'm saying. So you're envisioning what I'm saying. So with all that in mind, we wonder now why today's men are so cold-hearted and emotionless. Right? We confused, we concerned, we say all the needs, and we say, why man stay so? But they don't understand that the seeds that we planted is what we're reaping right now, right? So women also tend to complain that our men are not sensitive enough. So even in relationships, we feel the brunt of those seeds planted. Boy, him not considerate enough, him not kind enough, him not listening enough, because he was never taught to do any of that.
Yeah.
He was taught to be tough. Make sure you defend your thing. And that's literally what we teach our young boys. Right?
Yeah, right.
Jada, you agree or disagree?
Yeah, like
what?
she see it out there, like she said, boy, so that's why the man is so. That's why, like it is a connect, you know.
Jada, express yourself, Jada.
Come in, remember my mother.
All right.
All right, Jada, say our mother listen. Yeah. But
Big up
yeah.
Miss Jen.
So why can't, and then there is also considered that men shouldn't be sensitive. Is it deemed that being sensitive is equal to being weak?
But all right, well, Kim, life rough. I don't know if a them man will probably come from World War II and them something there. And you know, probably if you're in the army, we understand the reason for it there.
For you being macho and
But
tough.
then, you know, you have to understand the lesson that we teach, because at some point, most of these persons are going to come out of the army and try to go back into regular life.
society, yeah.
So that's why they also have a hard time doing so. So imagine the regular youth them when we don't have no look at army for about, but here we are teaching them, yo brother, you're ball fuck.
No show no
What
feelings.
kind of hug up, hey, man a man.
Yeah.
There is this family, well, I can say it, Meet the Mitchells with Tammy and Wayne. And they have 3 boys. And
one girl.
And one girl, big up Ivy Arrow. But in it all, they said they admire, and I read the comments, they admire Wayne's relationship with his sons because him hug them, them can cry. They are allowed to feel emotions, because emotion is not limited to one gender. or one
Exactly.
group. You're a human
You're
being.
human, and I think
If
that's
you
what we
get
are
shot,
neglecting.
If you get somebody push you and you drop and it hurts, you're gonna say ow.
Exactly.
You're gonna say ow, and if you cry, you cry.
Exactly. So that leads us to, why do we burden men with our expectations of not showing their vulnerability and not crying when they are emotionally or physically hurt? We should be giving men full freedom to express their emotions, and this should begin in their early childhood stages. It's absolutely fine, and in fact very necessary, to encourage boys to show their emotions. It will give an outlet to their pent-up emotions, and instead of being violent and aggressive, which they often become due to suppressing their emotions, sound familiar?
Yeah.
They will become more humane and caring, right? So even in the midst of the research, and I was seeing that, I'm like, yo, that's what we're seeing in our Jamaican society today. We're seeing lots of angry people, we're seeing lots of people that can't reason out a dispute. We can't just, even if it is that you can't agree, just walk away. Yeah, bear that, right? Or God forbid, you feel some type of way because you're on your bridging them. You can't show a certain face, so you have to give your tough chat. You probably don't want this the girl now because you don't want to look away. You're going to say, boy, man, dirty foot and just because.
This is,
You understand?
oh my God.
And it's because of how men are, it's what they're taught, right? So, we may not want to admit it. Well, before I even get to that, across societies, men are critically judged and assessed based on the dominant ideals of manhood, which generally means being tough. People on the live, if you not agree, let me know. If you not disagree, let me know. If you think, Kim, something not go right, you know, and you want to explain the thing to me, feel free as well, because I love, a discussion, interaction.
Engagement.
Yeah. So as I was saying, across societies, men are critically judged and assessed based on the dominant ideals of manhood, which generally means being tough, strong, resilient, exercising control over women and others, and being economically independent. The expression "man up" further explains the pressure felt by men to do the things that they are traditionally expected to do. So men and boys who fail to achieve this ideal are then belittled or ridiculed, and guess what, by both men and women.
Yes.
Yo, yeah, soft you, man. Oh, yeah, gonna so.
Boy,
There
soft
was-
man.
Yeah.
Exactly, and both men and women do it.
I
You know,
move like
only-
a girl clown, bro.
Exactly. You just got your breakup, you feel away.
Jada ready.
And somebody call you girl clone instead of saying, boy, I understand, so you're probably
You're a
heartbroken.
simp. I hate
If
the
them have,
term.
but even that, I don't even think I've ever
Listen.
used that term. Cause simp, what?
No, but it's not even only that. You probably just catering to your woman, being nice to her, and all of a sudden you're a girl clone. Like, why?
brother.
Were you not supposed to be nice to your woman?
So I go on yesterday. They play football match and we never see you. girl wasn't feeling so
She never
well.
there feel well,
So I
so I
brought
stayed
her
home.
some roses and I
Yeah,
had to stay the
simp, you know.
evening with her.
Correct.
What? The brother spent the whole weekend with she already. I move like a girl clown, brother.
Exactly. Are you doing?
Woman youth.
I'm like,
Right?
frightened woman.
Like a frightened
I'm like,
woman.
yes, I'm frightened for her. I am frightened.
I go home to her.
Exactly. So that's the thing that is seen as the norm in our society. As KOP Queen said, them not used to niceness.
All right.
What I think happens a lot of the time, it's broken men
Yeah.
trying to train another generation of broken men.
But guess what the problem is? It's not only men. I've actually heard mothers teach their son these
Sons,
things.
right.
I remember actually there's someone I
Mothers
know
and society.
and her son. Cause first of all, we have the thing, yeah man, you got on galley some girl out really. Mothers don't like to
I
be
need to have a
heartbroken, you
word
know.
with my mother.
But
I tell you, I'm vexed.
but them tell them son that, set an expectation. And I know someone personally, her son basically a check for the girl, I really like that girl. And her mother tell him, say, yo, no second down, if I have a couple girl before that. Mother tell you that.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's not a man,
that's
broken
serious.
men teaching men.
So
Women
in
are
find a
also
good
teaching
article girl
them.
fright off the bat. Boy, that's what
Him
I'm
young,
dream
bear
right
in
now.
mind he's young,
After
but
all
at
of
the same
arguments
time.
go on. But here I say, that sounds like a dream. And she
Exactly.
said, no matter how
And
take a long
she
time.
tells her, no, you need for experience, and that's what your mother is telling you. Now, from her perspective, she said, him young, him not,
Yeah, I mean,
you're not ready,
there
but
is a plus and
there's a
side
way
to it
you
where
say it.
sometimes persons who don't have many experiences
and there's
when
a
they're
way
young,
that you say, you're not
probably,
telling him to have a
break
bag of
up or
woman.
so. But that way there for put it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't tell him
Because
to
at that
have a
point,
bag of
give him a
woman.
chance to learn and experience, what a
Right.
first relationship is like or whatever it is.
Exactly. And then you do have some people who they're from high school for true. And yeah, he's in
still
high school.
continue.
So I say that to say it's not only men teaching them sons certain things. Women are also guilty of it.
And
Very
society as well.
And society.
Because right now, I tell you, if the brother and him girl, they on the ends, right? And you go so box, and the girl say, yo, give me a kiss now. Watch your mother look around. Watch your mother look around. Like, but I say, wait, who I look?
No, we can't do that.
Quick.
No, you're lucky. No, it might run her. Yo, move from yourself with that.
Listen, I've gone out. And I'm tired to see those couples more fling the juice man on. I swear.
What happened to them?
The guys, and I love to see it, honestly, but because I'm single,
The lovey-dovey
Okay.
couple.
Oh, the
them.
lovey-dovey
The
couple.
lovey-dovey couple them.
All right, we're not saying if you go and like you need a room, don't go so far. But I'm just saying, I look at affection because probably the girl likes that, but it was
Bad man.
Girl,
Bad mind.
don't worry, Jada. We know what you're talking about.
He's
Because
always gonna borrow your
I
hand
vex with my mother because I tell you, my
You
mother,
see, Jada la
my
borrow
mother
hand in
tell
here.
me, say, that's why I'm probably single now. My mother tell me, say, listen me. Amount of woman where I run you down when you grow up.
Yeah, you.
Probably get me them.
You know why?
I know, because I said, me not run them down, because my mother said, them are going to
But
run
that's
me
their
down.
problem because you're not running. How are they gonna run you down when you're not running?
Well, I
Me not running. Nobody wants to
Well,
know.
I
Chase.
You need to run too.
Yeah.
So guess what? After today, you know what? No more.
realize them
The wrong go everywhere.
Realize they run down bus, car, bus
Yeah,
around.
quite a move.
They run down taxi car, taxi around.
Yes.
Oh my
Bro, it's
gosh.
station.
That is why nobody not run. They don't get not run.
My mother never tell me that part there.
She know, man.
Fine print that they did.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see. Well, I go figure it out, people.
And then KOP Queen said, that me hear people I tell my son. I'm like, no second with one woman. That's what people I tell our son.
All them
And I
something.
said, we have to accept that it's not only men. We like to see that, oh, these men teaching them son these things. It's a bigger problem than that, right? So, we may not want to admit it, but society has failed men. And I'm going to list a few examples of this. Do you realize that prisons are mostly populated with men? That's a given. We all know that. Do you also realize that men have a higher suicide rate than women? I wonder why. If you observe our Jamaican society, you would notice that there are far more madmen and homeless men than women. Is it right?
Well, Kim, I think this might, I mean, people might say word on the streets, is that the woman, them, because the man,
Them. No, what we're trying to get at though, is that
Okay.
if you are walking or basically based on the life,
Well, yeah, for
what
sure.
you
There's
see.
more men
I be a
gonna be
madman.
on the
Every
road.
time you hear somebody say I'm
Madman.
free, you know,
Yeah.
hear nobody say I'm afraid of madman.
Yeah.
A madman, people say, because it's
Yeah.
mostly men. It
And
says
then Madman have
something.
name to Madman Charlie.
Exactly.
Oh, the legend
It's
of Madman
Yeah.
Charlie. Yeah.
right.
So-
So it says something. The fact that you keep seeing men on the road, right? It's showing the problem.
So, why?
On top of that, depression and anxiety are the most common mental health issues in the world. And statistically, women are mostly affected, but men are the most likely not to seek help.
So why the man them? Why we have it so rough?
That is what I'm trying to break down. I wanted to say all these things so we actually realize the things that people or men in particular are going through, because we in a society where we're not like the man them hate woman, no one really, but we're not understanding the source of what we're reaping right now.
Every man for themselves. What the woman them say, woman is a girl power.
Right.
We say every man for themselves. Like we're just stranded by ourselves.
Exactly.
So we're not, so we're not looking at it in a true, like the culture just set up a way. So.
It's set up a certain way against men. And then did you know that in many countries, boys repeat grades more than girls?
Well, yeah.
And are at a greater risk of failing to complete their education. More boys drop out of school.
And then there are probably more girls in the class anyway.
Exactly. And even so, with more girls in the class, more boys are drop out. So you realize how sad it is. So if you have 5 men and then 2 are going to drop out.
That is actually true, because the university ratio is 80 to 20.
Exactly.
Females are...
So where is some man them there?
So you're realizing that it shows that we're not
Palm College.
empowering them. No, it's not even only that. Some of them, that's what them resort to, because it's like the energy people put in women,
whatever, yeah.
the energy parents put in them daughters, and so I make sure you can get a good education. I don't see for some men, they don't get that push.
That's true. And then most of the time, if it's a guy that probably have a little talent or so, or a little trade.
Yeah, man, go to an artist. No bother with that.
Go back to the carpentry house, man.
Exactly. KOP say man can't take bun and love give bun.
Wow.
As them bona fide cheat, them get man.
All right, so hold on there.
Mad.
A man, she said, oh, come here, say.
Yeah.
And then man them a soft soap. And then Shevidan look him, send the eyes, and then Shevidan said no comments. So Shevidan, are you saying you disagree or you agree?
Soft soap.
Prime example.
And that's another thing people say, man a soft soap.
All right, hear me say, because we don't have no choice, people. What we are going to do? Ladies, people out there in the world, Jamaicans, what we are going to do? We can't ball, because we are going to be soft as... We don't have the emotion. We don't show no emotion.
But then the woman then vex, so you not show no emotion. So you left you because you don't care.
You want to know Kim, because the woman never say, listen to me. No, I can't take him. Him just too love it. Him too emotional. He want to talk about feelings.
Balance.
But no.
Balance.
No, them sometimes, I can guarantee you, if we go out the road and ask people, if there are women out there, we like the no emotions, man, them.
You do have some of them that like that. Them like the rough up.
Them no want to hear nothing about no love you.
You know, business about nothing. Them not say man as man.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but man a man, you know?
Yeah.
And I've heard a woman that say, me not buy man gift, man no need gift, you know, and them basically don't think men have feelings. That's literally, I've heard women say that. Yeah. Them don't think men have feelings.
Them, man. But here I know, you have some now where really, you know, try and wonder why the man them not so romantic and so expressive. Well, see, there people, you have to go change the narrative now. Yeah.
And then also when you look at it, in society, one can question why is it that women get maternity leave? Yes, we know some of them go through the pregnancy and so, right? But then enough organization don't know nothing about paternity leave. What? The father not even born with the baby too. Them something there.
I think that's kind of on our part as men. Because, I mean, I know that the women would have fought for, you know, that right to say, boy, we need maternity leave and we need time and then something. But it's true we not have nobody there, you know, because you have man a fight for woman and woman a fight for woman now. Yeah. But really have nobody a fight for man.
That is what I'm trying to get at.
So
we're not fighting for men too.
Because we not a team up. And we not nobody to motivate you to team up. So we just going to say, yo, brother, boy, I'm not like still of me. Since, you know, probably the mother had some complications, she not feeling well, so the father really kind of help out.
Exactly, and that's a part of it. And the father just got grieve and talk about him feeling to probably want to embrace it. Boy, I better man tell us the thing rough because after work and we don't have the end and the bridge now because I tell him say, yo brother, that rough. And that's all, that rough, that rough dog.
System, yo.
Right? And as KOP said, I rather men speak their mind and show emotions. I have no problem with that. Make we ball together.
Same.
She cry.
That's if.
I crew. We crew.
Right? So you have to consider that as well because society is like we don't place that priority as well on men being in the kids' life when it comes to paternity leave. enough organization don't reach them levels. There are few have, evolved and have something like that. But then even when they do grant paternity leave, I like the 2 week.
2 weeks, and I think I've heard of up to like a month.
Exactly, and that's far and few.
That's far.
On average, is 2 weeks for the few people that have paternity leave. So it says something that we're saying that the men, you're born with the baby not as important.
It's not as important.
And then when men aren't good fathers, boy, the dirty father, them. And realize how we're contradicting ourselves with the problems we have created, and then we'll get the results, boy, problematic, right? So that's something we have to consider. And as well, one thing that actually came to mind, when the Russia versus Ukraine war just started, do you realize that men and women and kids were sent away to safety, and the men were left to either fight and defend, or they were basically put as last resort? After we move all the woman them and the baby them, then we'll come back for now. That says something,
It does.
That says more than you want to. Because what if as a man, you don't want to fight? You actually want to run your family. You want to be there to protect them, and you're being told that the women and the kids have to go first. And yes, guys, I understand the psyche of it and all, but then I think if I was a man, me feel some type of way deep down. I literally saw this man break down. There was a video of it, and the father had to put his daughter on the bus and his wife, and the man was bawling, and it broke my heart. Right? And it's like, it was compulsory for men. It wasn't even an option, It was like, well, you have to stay back. You have to intro, all of them. Jada is saying something.
In a sense, I don't want to see. I don't want to say it and it sounds wrong, but I'm going to try and say it the best. Men somewhat have created that for themselves. And I say this to say because it's over the last 40 years, women have been liberated today. And that's where you had feminism coming out and all of that. But men, in a way, have created that for themselves. That women had to stay home. They had to take care of kids. So, yes, maybe in now modern day society, some men don't want to go to war. Some men really want to just stay with their families, bond with the baby, do all of that. But you have to look back at where you're coming from, because where you're coming from affects now. So coming from where it was a thing, it was a tradition. If you're going to get into the military and you're going to be this sergeant in there and you're going to do well, you're going to excel, you're going to do all of that to make your parents proud. It was a thing for men to do that. And they created that upon themselves because them say them run things. What is what? It's a man's world. Right.
But then when you look at it, so that is tradition, but just like how we've evolved women over the past couple of decades, where's the evolvement of men?
I think you'd start, it's not
Five of us South here a try,
Yeah. It needs to start within them, in that community, that within men. It can't just be okay, because you us as women, we see the problem. They see the problem.
Yeah, but then we as women as well prioritize our problem over their problem. My problem more important because I'm female, I'm feminine. I should be catered to. I should be cherished. So guess what? My problem will fix first, and then when all of my problem then fixed, then we're gonna see if we can link your problem. Cause we know your problem, but mine more serious. That's how we are, and that saying is a part of the problem. What about the husband?
Life. Man, just stuff it up, tough it out.
That saying is that, like, literally
right.
You see, that was a part of it, and I know people have now been saying happy spouse, happy house, and I think that's more correct because
it works both
ways. So why fear happiness a priority? So if I'm miserable and just depressed and stressed out just for interest that she good, then that's not a marriage.
Because if it's happy wife, happy life, what should I do?
Exactly. What is she doing to ensure that I'm happy? That I want to make her happy, So it's all of this leads back to the fact that we're not empowering our men, and because of that, we are reaping what we are seeing today in the news, what we are seeing in our relationships, what we are seeing day in, day out. We actually sow those seeds. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, over the time, I think the other day I was at a function and they had a Miss Lou poem that's being read, and it's actually called Call Me Brother.
Call Me Brother for me.
Yeah, all right. I mean, it's situations where, let's say, somebody hire her to one PR.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, so you're not paying me? Call my brother. So it's all the strong situations where she need a little back it in.
Exactly.
My brother. But at the end, she don't really have no brother.
She
But she
said-
just
Yeah,
use
but
it.
she has to use it.
Where's the mom?
Yeah.
It's like, me one, my brother.
So we have
Right?
that narrative that we are the protectors and we get called on for these purposes.
And men are left to fend for themselves because, I mean, outside of the fact of, well, no, I think it's mainly crime right now, how we thinking that way. But if in the middle of the night, a car broke down a man out there, nobody not stopping.
True.
Sure, that's true.
Not one soul. Nowadays, a woman, well, once upon a time, if it's a woman, everybody will stop. Nowadays, if you know the woman, them
God,
in
the
a things.
woman them a
No,
work with a
because
man,
no,
they do
because the
things.
man them find out, say, oh, they must stop. So we'll put a woman there, make them stop, and then we just, everybody run out.
We come in.
So now we're more iffy, but still, people still take a chance. Because the woman might genuinely need help than no matter what, we'll drive past the man.
Him, it rough.
Listen.
He better fix that himself.
Exactly. And we're going to figure it out.
Him buy car, him better can fix
That
it.
was me last night. I was going home and person driving and the guy comes up and he's like, can I what? He needed a jump start the battery. I'm here like, why you telling me yes? Why did you say you don't know this man from Adam? Supposed the man have 3 other men round the corner.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that man could be, he's at home. Him can walk, go home.
Exactly. And this leads back to the fact of the things that we're not noticing men are going through. And the only thing is that they're not speaking out about it. So because them not talk about it, is that we think, okay, men are just strong. No, them have them issues too, and we need to identify it, right?
All right, well, Kim, I like what's going on so far.
Yes,
We're
yes.
feeling the vibe. But we'll see what more questions you have coming.
Yes, yes. We're going to the break. We'll be right back.
Let's start the thing with Kim inside Fantastic Fridays here on News Talk
93
93
FM.
FM.
I tell us I'm me now worry about